that is opens into the urethra. Here, the excretory system, it is having the one pair of kidneys are present. Kidneys are opens into the tube-like structures, white tube-like structures. They are called as a ureters. Ureters opens into the bag-like structure that is called as a urinary bladder that opens out by the urethra. Next, the kidneys are one pair. The right side is slight lower than the left side, and they opens into the ureters. The ureters are the white tubular structures. They are the white tubular structures. Ureters are the white tubular structure. They are made up of with the transitional epithelium. They are made up of with transitional epithelium. They carries the renal fluid to the or urine to the urinary bladder. Next is called as the next part is called as a urinary bladder. It is having the thick membrane. Urinary bladder is having the covered by the thick membrane, and this is also made up of with the transitional epithelium only. Here, next the urinary bladder opens out by the opening that we call as the urethra. It is controlled by the two sphincters are there. Internal sphincter, internal urethral sphincter, and the external urethral sphincter. Here, two sphincters are mainly maintaining the regulation of the urine that we call it as a internal urethral sphincter and the external urethral sphincter. This is about the system, means this that is one pair of kidneys, one pair of ureters, the urinary bladder, urethra is present. Now we are going to discuss about the internal structure of the kidney. Taking the VS of the kidney. Here, see this one, the diagram VS of kidney, vertical section of kidney. Like this, see this one. This is also important for the SAQ also. This diagram is important for the SAQ. In the LAQ also it is important, and also SAQ, this one is important. Next, inside of that, this is the kidney is covered by the capsule that we call as a renal capsule. Inside of the kidney, they are divided into two regions. Outer is called as a the outer is called as a cortex, and inner is called as a medulla. Inside of the medulla, number of conical structures are present. These conical structures we call it as a renal pyramids. Clear? The conical structures are present. These conical structures we call as a renal pyramids. Like this, In the outer side, this part is called as a cortex region. This part is called a cortex region. Inner is called as a medulla region is present. Inside of the medulla region, they are the number of the conical shaped structures are present. These conical shaped structures is called as a renal papillae. This renal papillae is renal pyramids. Renal pyramids are having the endings. Here the endings are there. This we call as a renal papillae. Here the next the between the kidneys, the cortex is enter inside of this. That we called as the columns, renal columns. Here, like this, they are present. That we call as a renal columns are present. Here. Next, see this one. This is the renal capsule. Renal capsule. Next one is called as a renal cortex. Outer region is called as a renal cortex. Inner this region is called as a renal medulla. Renal medulla is having the conical, the columns are present. They are called as a renal columns are also called as a columns of Bettini. Renal columns are columns of Bertini. Next, this the conical shape, the sharp structure is there that we called as a renal papillae. Renal papillae. The renal papillae opens into the structures. That structures we call as a renal calyx. These are called as a. This one is called as a renal calyx. Renal calyx. All the renal calyx are two types. Are then minor means small branches is called as a minor calyx. The main branches are there that we call as the major calyx. They are opens into the pelvis. This is called as this structure is called as a renal pelvis. Next, that renal pelvis is opens into the tube-like structure we call as a ureters. Here, renal pelvis is opens into the tube-like structure that we called as a ureter. Here, next the kidneys are outside is having the concave shape. Inner is called in the lobe-like structure. It is having it is also called as a hilus or also called as a hilum. Here, in the hilum, into the hilum, which one is enter inside of the hilum means renal artery and the nerves are enter inside of the kidney and the ureter and the renal vein comes out from the kidney. Here, see. Renal artery, the enter inside of the kidney. Next, renal vein is goes out from the kidney. Here, this one. This is a internal VS of the kidney. This is the important diagram also for SAQ also important. I am discussing this in the LAQ, but it is also important for the SAQ also. Here the one more time, the kidney is covered by the capsule that we call as a renal capsule. Inside the kidney is divisible into two regions. Outer is called as a cortex region. Inner is called as a medulla. Next, the medulla region is having the number of conical structures or conical shaped structures are present. They are called as a renal pyramids. Here they are called as a renal pyramids. These are called as a renal pyramids. The renal pyramids sharp structure, the ending is a sharp structure that we call as a renal papillae. Next, the here inside of the renal pyramids, number of nephrons are present, and the between the two two pyramids, the space is, the cortex is projected inside that we call as a renal, the columns of Bettini are also called as a renal columns are present. Clear? This one is about the internal structure, and the which one is enter inside of the kidney in the hilum place, which one is enter inside of the kidney means the renal artery, and the nerves are now is enter inside of the kidney, and they which one is leave from the kidney means they are the renal vein and the ureters. Clear? This one is about the internal structure of the kidney. Like this here, the pyramids, these pyramids are having the number of nephrons are present. The nephrons are collecting ducts are opens into the ducts of Bellini. All the collecting ducts are emerge and form it as the duct that we call as a duct of Bellini. Here, this one is about the internal structure of the kidney. Next, inside of the kidney, number of nephrons are present. How many nephrons are present? Nephron. Each and every kidney is having the 1 to 1.5 millions of 1 to 1 millions of nephrons are present. These nephrons are the structural and functional unit of the kidney. Structural and functional units of kidney. Here, the next, the how it is, what is the structure of nephron? Now we are going to discuss with the diagram. Structure of nephron. This with me, you also draw the diagram. This just it will be practice. This is the structure of nephron. Here now I'm going to labeling. This one is called as a Bowman's capsule. And this one is bunch of blood vessels is called as a glomerulus. Next, the one blood vessel is enter branch, the blood capillary enter inside of the nephron, that we call as a efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole. Next, one blood vessel is comes out. One is enter inside of the nephron and another inside of the Bowman's capsule. One is comes out, that we call as a efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole and efferent. Next, this efferent arteriole comes out and they are surrounding of this. They are first we are the renal. This one is it's having the here the PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. This is called as a proximal convoluted tubule. PCT, proximal convoluted tubule is present, and the U-shaped hairpin-like structure is present, that we call as a loop of Henle or Henle's loop. Henle's loop. This Henle's loop is having the two structures are present. This one is called as the first one. They are coming from the anterior to posterior, that we call as a descending limb. Descending limb. Next one is goes the posterior to anterior, that we call as a ascending limb. Next, this one is the DCT. Digital convoluted tubule. Next, the blood vessels, the efferent blood vessel comes out and surrounding of the PCT and DCT, which one is there? That we call as a peritubular network. Peritubular network. Next, the which one is surrounding of the Henle's loop? The blood vessels are there, that we call as a vasa recta. This is the diagram of structure of nephron. See this one. Here it is mainly the two components are there. I'm writing here. The two components are there in the structural structure of the nephron. First one is called as a Malpighian tubule. Malpighian tubule are also called as a renal corpuscle, and the second part we call as a renal tubule. Renal tubule. Here inside of the nephron, main two components are present, two structures are present. One is called as a Malpighian tubule, or also called as a another name of the Malpighian tubule is called as a renal corpuscle, and also second one is called as a renal tubule. The ins about how the means I change the screen. Afterwards, I will explain the first the taking in the Malpighian tubule. Which one is present? First, Malpighian tubule. Malpighian tubule is also called as a renal corpuscle, and what it is present means inside of this. For example, I draw the diagram before only like this. I draw the diagram starting. This one is called as a Bowman's capsule, cup-like structure. Malpighian tubule is having the mainly the two parts are present. One is the double-layered cup-like structure is present, that we call as a Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is present, double-layered structure. That one is cup-like structure. Next, inside of that, the blood vessels are enter. These blood vessels are called as the efferent and the efferent blood vessels. These blood vessels are joining. Efferent and efferent blood vessels are join and form it as a structure that we call as a glomerulus. This we call as a glomerulus. Malpighian tubule is having the mainly two parts are present. One is called as a glomerulus. Blood, the bunch of the blood vessels are there inside of the Bowman's capsule. That we call as a glomerulus. What about the Bowman's capsule means? It is a double layered cup-like structure that we called as a Bowman's capsule. This one is about the Malpighian tubule. Next, second, the two components are there in the nephron. First one is called as a Malpighian tubule. Second one is called as a renal tubule. Renal tubule. Inside of the renal tubule, which parts are present means the TCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Already discussed, proximal convoluted tubule is present. Next, the Henle's loop is present, are also called as a loop of Henle. Henle's loop is present, are also called as a, this is also called as a loop of Henle is present. Here it is the having the Henle's loop is having the two U-shaped hairpin-like structure is present. That one is coming from the anterior to posterior. One is up to means posterior to anterior. The two limbs are present. One is first one is called as a the anterior to posterior coming is called as a descending limb. Descending limb. Next one is goes from the posterior to anterior, that we call as a ascending limb. Next is the DCT, digital convoluted tubule. Means why we called as a proximal convoluted tubule means nearby the Malpighian tubule. Which one is present? That we call as a proximal convoluted tubule. Next part is called the Henle's loop. Next is called as a digital. This is far from the Malpighian tubule. That's why we call as a DCT, or also called as a digital convoluted tubule. And next last part is called as a collecting duct, or also called as a collecting tubule. Clear? This one is called as a digital convoluted tubule. Digital convoluted tubule. And the collecting duct are also called as a collecting tubule. Means the nephron is having the two components are there. First component is called as a Malpighian tubule, or also called as a renal corpuscles. This is having the two parts are present, glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule. Clear, I think. Next is the second part is called as a renal tubule. Inside of the renal tube-like structure, this one is a tubule. Means that is a tube-like structure. Inside of the tube-like structure, different types of tubules are present, different parts are present. First part is called as a proximal convoluted tubule. Second part is called as a hairpin-like structure, or also called a U-shaped structure is present, that we call as a Henle's loop. Henle's loop, first one is called as a first loop is called as a descending limb. Second is called as a ascending limb. Next is the third part is called as a DCT, digital convoluted tubule. And the next last one, digital convoluted tubule, lastly opens into the collecting duct. Here, this one is about the main components are present, and also inside of the nephron, the mainly here the another structures also present. See this one. Here it is a glomerulus. Now in this I will show. This one is a total. This total part is called as a Malpighian tubule. Malpighian tubule. Another name of the Malpighian tubule is called as a renal corpuscle. Here, this is this opens into the total. This part tubular part is there na. This total tubular part we call as a total renal tubule. Here only two components are there in the structure of nephron. The Malpighian, this part is called as a Malpighian tubule. Remaining total part we call as a renal tubule. Here, see this one. Here it is a proximal convoluted tubule is present. Next, this one is called as a U-shaped structure, that is called as a Henle's loop is present. And the next part, DCT, digital convoluted tubule is present, that opens into the collecting duct, or also called as a collecting tubes. These collecting ducts or collecting tubes, the inside of the renal pyramid, conical shaped pyramid is there. Before that we discussed. Inside of the pyramid, all the nephrons are collected by all the nephrons collecting ducts are joined and form it as a ducts of Bellini. Here, duct of Bellini is formed. Here, this one is about the structure of nephron. They are asking the excretory system. You draw the three diagrams. First one is called as a excretory system diagram. You draw it, and also VS of kidney. You draw it, and the structure of nephron is also you must draw. Here, next this is about the practice this diagram. Next is the nephrons are having the two types of nephrons are present. Means they are having the, depending upon the presenting region, the nephrons are, two types of nephrons are there. One is called as a cortical nephrons. Cortical nephrons. Second type of nephrons we call as a juxtaglomerular nephrons. Juxtamedullary. Juxtamedullary nephrons. Here what's the difference between the two means? Cortical nephrons means, for example, this one is the kidney. Inside of the kidney, the nephrons are present, where the outer side, already we discussed, outer side, the region we call as a cortex region, inner middle region is called as a medulla region. Here, how they are arranged means they are the mainly all the major nephrons are belongs to this type only, that is called as a cortical nephrons. The less number of nephrons are belongs to juxtamedullary nephrons. How they are means, what the difference between them means, the cortical nephrons are present in the where it is cortex is present inside, the Malpighian tubule is present in the cortex region only. PCT is present in the cortex region only. Only the Henle's loop is present in the medulla region. That the Henle's loop is also short in this one. Here, the inside of the cortical nephrons, major part is present in the cortex region only. Normally, all the cortical nephrons and juxtamedullary nephron, the PCT and DCT and the collecting duct, means collecting tubule, is present inside of the cortex only. They are present inside of the cortex. But in the cortical nephrons, these are present in the cortex region only. And in this, the Henle's loop is large. Henle's loop is small. Henle's loop is short. Means most of the part of the nephron is present in the cortex region only. That's why that nephrons we call as a cortical nephron. Major number of the nephrons are belongs to the cortical nephrons only. Next, what about the juxtamedullary nephrons? In this also, in the only the difference here, the Henle's loop is short now. In this juxtamedullary nephrons, Henle's loop is large. Henle's loop is large. That inside of the enter in Henle's loop is large means how it is see. Here they are enter inside of the medulla. Mostly the Henle's loop is large. That's why they enter inside of the most part is inside of the medulla. That's why we call it a juxtamedullary nephrons. They are having the Henle's loop is large here. And also Henle's loop is large means for example, before that, see this one. Henle's loop is large means what about here the efferent arteriole efferent arteriole comes out and surrounding of the total nephron, red color you observe it. Red color, the blood vessels you observe it, they are surrounding of the PCT and the DCT, means proximal convoluted tubule and digital convoluted tubule. Which blood vessels are the surrounding, that blood vessels we call as a peritubular network. This peritubular, we have divided the blood vessels into two, means which one is surrounded by the PCT and DCT is called as a peritubular network. Only which blood vessels are surrounding of the Henle slope, that we call it as a vasa recta. Here the two types of nephrons we discussed. One is called as a cortical nephrons, another one is called as a cortical nephrons, another one, second one is called as a juxtamedullary nephrons. What the difference means? Cortical nephrons are having the small Henle loop is present. Henle loop is very small. That's why vasa recta is also reduced. Here, inside of the juxtamedullary nephrons, not like that. They are having the large, the Henle loop is present, and this large Henle loop is having the more number of blood vessels, means the well-developed vasa recta is present. That is the difference between the two types of nephrons. Major, the nephrons are belongs to cortical nephrons only, cortex region only. Major part is present. That nephrons is called as a cortical nephrons, and juxtamedullary nephrons, these are the present in the Henle loop is large and they are having the developed vasa recta is present. This is about I think you understood all the this one. These three diagrams are important. One is the excretory system, second is the BS of kidney, and this structure of nephron. These three diagrams, write and learn the answer. This is about the third LAQ. We discussed about the two LAQs, structure of heart and working of heart. This one is also completed. With this lesson LAQs are completed. Here next, same this time only we will continue. We will continue tomorrow the same this time. That's